Hi Bunny. Hi Maxi. Welcome in. Привет. Ghost Viking. Hello. Welcome in. Perfect moment. Just came home. Let's go. Welcome back. Welcome back. I bought a 500 gig SSD. Let's go. New games. Hello, Ghost Viking. Welcome in. I'm gonna be in chat again when I'm on PC. Be back soon. Okay, take your time. I'm still setting some stuff up. Give me a few minutes as well. Maxi got first, right? It is this song. Okay. Hello, everyone. What is up? What is up? What is up? Oh yeah, I like this song. Yeah. I love this song, man. And the first time I heard this song, it was a Nightcore version. If you know what that is. The drums, literally the beat, so good. Da, 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 da. Okay, what do we want to play today? Do you guys want a horror stream again, or do you guys want something a bit variety? Because I'm down for variety today. I have the same song on as well. Let's go. I want to play some fun games today, man. I want to play some fun games today. I was thinking of a bit of Counter Strike, and then by the end we can play a little bit on Little Nightmares, I think. Mm. Which reminds me, I need to have a Chrome tab with Stream Manager on. I like the sound of that. Let's go. Do you play CS2, Ghost Viking? Are you a CS2 player, maybe? Do you like the game? Because if you want to join, I'm down for teaming up. What the fuck is happening with my Chrome? It's not loading. Chrome has gone to shit, man. Songify. Back. Hello. Maxi, do you got CS2? Do you want to join? What's taking so much? Efficiency. I have CS2. I play CS2, but I can't right now. Oh, you want to play? Yeah. Hop on. Hop on, hop on. I am playing right now. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Hop on, buddy, hop on. Let's see if it works now. Nope, still not loading properly. What a time. Yeah, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Drink water. Become.
I hydrated before I start streaming, man. But thank you for the hydrate, man. Appreciate it. Create a dashboard, please. Just load. I don't understand why this is not loading. Start collaborating from Stream Manager. No. Maybe later. Maxi, you play, and I can keep eyes on chat. I do that while playing. Eh? It's okay, it's okay. We both do it. I'll switch to this now. By the way, players, you might need to clear your temp files too. That's closed down almost all apps, mostly Chrome. How do I do that? Firstly, I think I should reduce the bitrate a bit. No? Wanna do now or later? I'm decreasing the bitrate right now. Give me a sec. I decrease it to 7K, so it should be okay. Do you wanna do what's it called? Discord? Give me a sec. I'll join you in the come over to live channel. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome in. How are you?
Uh,
Where did you
I'm
go?
good. I went to another city to get the SSD. Look,
Let's
I'm not
let's go.
joking. I don't have the cable right now, so there you go.
Oh, let's go.
I'll
Good
put
job,
the
good job. Samsung,
I
right?
got a
Samsung Vivo.
yeah, Samsung.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Good job, good job.
500 gigs.
Nice. CS, no, COD, download COD.
Let me get the let the freaking cables arrive, and then we can talk. Okay? Let the cables arrive and then we can talk, okay?
Download COD. Get the Ultimate Xbox, and then download Forza 6. Because I want to try everything. COD I've been playing
Yeah.
with my friend, but I want to try Forza 6.
I get Forza after I'm back from Croatia, so not maybe that's like 2 weeks. So
By the way, that playlist thingy that we talked about yesterday,
yes.
I think that's gonna be difficult, man.
Why?
Because I don't even make my own playlist. I just play one song and I let the app basically decide what to do.
Ah,
Yeah,
lazy
and
boy, lazy boy.
I never change songs. I recently noticed. Okay, comp, right? We want to play comp, yes.
I don't
Yes.
care, dude. Ghost, here's the Discord. The
Uh,
Discord commands isn't working, I guess.
Discord
There.
is not working.
Yeah, the Discord command isn't working. So I gotta
Fuck.
do it. Yes.
Thank you for the invite. Appreciate it. One when needed. Dust 2. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Cause that's the only map I know where everything is. I don't even know what
Dust.
other maps look like.
I
Yeah.
know Dust, I know Mirage, I know Vertigo, I know Inferno, and I think I know Nuke. Yeah, Nuke 2.
I never play anything other than Dust.
You gotta play Mirage 2 someday.
Mirage I've played. Mirage I've played. I know Mirage.
Then try Vertigo
Thanks, Max.
or
Which one's Vertigo?
thanks Max.
Vertigo.
Maxis. Why are you saying Yeti and Maxis? Am I a million Maxi?
You're a trillion maxi.
Huh? Me?
Yeah.
I would never. But I look at your bitrate if it's green now.
Thank you for the posture check. I checked my posture. Stretch. If
Yeah,
I
you
fall
gotta
because
lock in. You gotta
because
lock in this round, dude.
if I fall because of the stretch.
I
Ah,
don't pay better for this. I don't pay.
yeah. Nah, you'll have to pay. You'll have to pay. Bro, not gonna lie, if I fall down over here, I'm gonna crack open my head.
Damn, okay.
Super realistic clip, but super bad for my health.
Yeah.
The clip would be OP, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you would abuse it. Like you would.
Yes.
Like always you would.
Streamer gets his head cracked open while stretching.
Yeah. Oh, delay is like 5 seconds now, I have noticed. Look at bitrate if it's better and not red now.
Mm-hmm. I think yesterday it was red because I was downloading a
You
lot
had
of
it on
stuff.
like. No, not because of downloading. You had like it was a 8K. You did it on 8,000, and the max what OBS can support is 7.5K without lags. If you go a bit above, it will like not work the whole full always.
CS2 may require the allow third-party software launch options to use game capture.
Yeah, yes.
Which one is that? Game multiplayer alpha. It should work now.
Counter-Strike Online 2. What the hell?
Game Counter-Strike 2. Let's go. Did it change?
Why is it online? Yeah, I did it. I changed it to. Well, I said Counter-Strike 2 and then it just changed to Counter-Strike Online 2. What the hell? interesting. Yo, how long is this loading? Oh,
It,
okay, I know why.
it's
I know
Counter
why. You
Strike
wanna
only.
know why?
It's only Counter Strike.
You wanna know why it's lagging?
Why?
Because at the matchmaking at the top it says server regions Europe, Frankfurt, like specific regions are under like extreme lagging right now, kinda. Like it's under lag, and now I'm in the region, so I might lag sometime.
I see.
Yes, lovely. Yeah, there we go.
Mm,
Okay, never mind.
when will we get a game? That's the thing right now. Will we get a game today?
Yes. Will we get a game or not?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. Okay, we have the fucking same mindset, dude.
Oh, I thought we got one. For a second, I thought we got
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, because of the sound, but we didn't get one.
Mm,
Scammer. Fuck you,
scam,
game.
scammer indeed. Okay, how do I remove the temp files? Can I do it while streaming? We got it, got it, got it. Accept, accept, accept.
Yeah, we got. Well, if you go settings, like Windows I, system, storage, and then let it load, and then cleaning recommended or something. Let's just I'm gonna show you fully on like after the round, okay? Or do you want me to show you now real quick? Cause like it's okay, never mind. Let's just do this round, okay?
Right.
Cause like it's like more than like depends if you didn't clean it for a while, it might take
Mhm.
sometimes to load. So
Oh damn. Everything's lagging. Fuck.
I have 140 ping. Be happy, dude.
I don't even know how much I have.
Oh, what the hell? They have AKs. Oh yeah.
Don't die. Hi love, welcome in. How's the show going?
Hi love, how are you?
Oh damn, it's bad.
Namaste,
Been fun.
namaste.
Namaste, namaste. Bro
Oh, I don't
started.
know if I
Bro has turned more Indian than me. I'm sleepy though. Get some rest, man. Get some rest.
I don't sleep, I drink.
Yeah, start drinking like Maxi. Don't.
Lizard, 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 lizard,
That's me.
lizard, 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 lizard.
Oh, who stole my...
Come on. Now you're doing the lizard motions.
Let's move out.
I do it every time, man. What do you mean?
That's normal, that's normal. Love, it's him. That's normal for him.
I even do head pats, man.
Yeah.
I even do head pats on my own.
Move it, son.
I need someone else to go in front because I don't have anything. Be my meat shield.
Clear, clear.
I'm going from back.
Okay, be careful though.
Yes, sir. Being extra careful, not looking anywhere.
Spawn, spawn, spawn.
Their spawn or our spawn?
Our spawn, yeah.
Got one.
Yo, this green is actually dumb. Dumb. Oh my god, this guy has no aim. Be careful, he's on bomb site. He's on bomb site.
What? Oh, he's got me. He's got me. He's got me. He had me. I was in the open, man. He had like yeah. It's okay. Flashbang, smoke grenade. That's enough, I think.
I get Deagle and defuse kit.
No, the fuse kit doesn't matter. We'll kill them before they come in.
Throwing flashbang.
Flashbang.
I flashed.
Oh my god, they're on A.
Yeah.
On A side. Everyone is at A on your spawn.
Oh my god. This pirate motherfucker is making noise the whole way.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm one.
Oh, nice try.
Thank you. Mr. Crowley. I don't know if he's stupid or he lost his brain. Brother, make the noise the whole way.
Come on, chop.
Who did?
Pirate.
Pirate, yeah. So, he's kind of weird, dude. People at A. shooting
Yeah, I'm
at A.
smoking this. Molly, over here as well. Here as well.
There's shots at A too.
Deploying flashbang.
I'm staying here. You go there. Here. Ah, pick me. Wait, what?
Oh my god, he's making
Andy.
and you're planning on A.
Ah, it's okay.
I don't hear them. What the hell?
Bro, look at the... Which one is it?
I don't hear them talk.
Someone had like 5-7 written somewhere.
I'm in position.
I'm going A. I'm going A.
Okay.
Yeah. We might need to do the temp files after this game because my shit is not working.
What is not working?
The rewards are not loading. Steam is lagging.
We can do a timeout after this if you want to. We can choose 1 minute timeout. I can show you them.
No, game is okay. Game is working properly. Shit. Careful, there was one there. Following you.
You're going.
I'm going from back.
Went from mid. We're going from mid. Bitch.
Where was he?
On hallway downstairs. On your right. Well, we don't have time.
I'm just gonna stay for...
Let's do timeout real quick.
Terrorists win.
Do timeout. So I can show you real quick. F1.
F1? Yes.
Yo, guys, accept.
They want. They don't wanna.
Nothing. Okay.
What pass?
Oh, next
Let's go.
round, next round, next round. He's spinning big. Oh my god.
Laying down smoke.
I just lagged so hard.
Grenade. Throwing fire. Deploying flashbang.
Mid.
Mid. Yeah.
Mid door, mid door.
Mid still.
Throwing
Yeah, I'm
flashbang.
still mid.
Bomb has been planted.
It's A. Okay,
Yes.
Eddie got AVP and he's mid.
Such tryhards, man. Fuck that
Nice.
guy.
Oh
Shit.
my god.
I might be dead.
Oh no time, safe.
Fuck.
Terrorists win.
I'd rather kill everyone than just go, no?
Yeah, for
I got
the point,
8k. Oh yeah,
Good,
let's
much
do the thing.
open
Setting.
System.
Settings not opening up.
Oh damn.
Oh yeah, settings open up. Settings, system, storage, right?
Storage, yes, and then go down to storage configuration, then like the brush or something, and
Yep.
then press extra options, and then like choose temporary files and temporary internet data or something, and then clear that.
Should I remove downloads as well?
Yeah. That's your download, where you download your files, like photos are on E.
Downloads are 55.9 gigs.
Oh damn. Okay. Oh, do it then. You need.
I'm
to
doing
restart my
I'm
God.
doing recycle bin and system recovery log files right now.
Yeah, do it. Then like while it's doing bomb B, he's saying B.
Move it.
Let's go B.
You're going B, I'll go A. Because you can take care of B.
I'm
I don't
going
wanna
B with blue.
Incendiary.
Oh shit.
Flash.
Throwing flashbang.
Oh, bomb here. Bomb at B.
On the way.
Yeah, on B.
I'm on my way. What?
Everyone at B. Only two guys left on site. One is that tunnel and one is on site. You can do this. No, on the.
I got the one on the side, right? He has to be
Everyone
mid.
is- Okay, no one is here. No one is on site. Maybe someone is coming from tunnel. You look door. They both looking at tunnel. Only one bomb is at B, so like he gotta push. Otherwise, like he's AFK. Apparently.
I don't care. We'll stay with the bomb. We stay with the bomb. Bro, my downloads are 50 gigs.
See, like first of all, you save like RAM, like you fix your performance, and you get more storage.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Like, see, that's what I said. Smart dude.
Let's
They
go.
got stats. Try guns. Nice.
Good job. Well played last round.
I need to gamble.
This is bandit country.
get
Gamble?
the money I bet you, and then mid-game I'm gonna gamble my face. Trust me, someday.
Throwing fire. Throwing smoke.
There was a flash at A.
Flashbang. Decoy.
Smoke at A.
Okay, on my way.
Throwing fire.
I'm staying mid because people usually come mid.
Footsteps.
Oh, one at mid.
Mid.
What? B?
Yeah, no, A or B?
Oh no, A!
Yes. That's what I said.
Throwing flashbang.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, headpads. Thank you for the headpads. Below.
Oh, no time.
Run. Was it an op?
No, it wasn't.
Terrorists win.
There was enough time, but like the thing is, there was like 3 people left, and now he's yapping that I just could defuse. Like couldn't. 'cause-
I'm bringing out the op.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of money.
Everyone go B. Go B.
Go B. I love how it sounds like for you.
Grenade out. Flashbang.
Oh my god. Shit. I might be dead.
I assume it's A.
It's gonna be B, I think.
Laying down smoke.
Never mind. It's gonna be B. Go B.
I'm gonna go B. Yeah,
Go
it's
B, man.
It's B. Flashbang at B. B.
Bomb has been planted.
Told you.
Car.
Why does he? Oh shh! I got killed from behind, man.
One is at corner.
Nice.
Terrorists win.
Why? Why does he wanna pick an op, man? Ah,
Okay, timeout.
timeout again?
Someone need a gun?
Let me check. What do I have in the downloads folder? What do I even have in the downloads folder? Oh, there are videos. Okay, there's quite a lot of stuff I can't get rid of.
Blaze, it's not timeout. No timeout. It's not a timeout.
It's not. If everyone's here, they're gonna push back.
It's on A.
Bomb has been planted.
Again? Wait, how did we lost 3v2, right? God. Ah, I don't understand what's happening, man.
Right, lads. We're on.
Ooh.
Deploying flashbang.
Thank you, Blaze.
Throwing fire. Smoke. Incendiary.
Most grenades on flash on B.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, my aim is so horrible. It's B, bomb on B, bomb on B.
Bomb has been planted. Throwing flashbang.
I'm dead. Literally run gun, man. What the fuck?
Oh no. Terrorists win.
How lovely my aim is. Ah.
Fellas are gonna regret waking up this morning. Throwing smoke. Deploying
Maxi, stay with me. Oh my god, wait, what?
deploying flashbang.
Good job.
One at B, one at B.
That was it. That was it. Go A, go A, go A. Go A. Bomb at A.
Bomb is at A, I'm coming.
Bang bang.
Roger that.
Oh,
Behind the door, behind the door.
Grenade out.
they're gonna lose, man. They're gonna lose either way. Oh, they won. Damn.
Nice. Save up, save up.
Thank God.
Holding
One round. Finally, one round. I'm going for full run gun.
gear up. We aren't going on a windy walk here. Laying down smoke. Decoys out.
B, 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 B.
Everyone at
Help,
B,
help, help.
everyone at B. Nice.
I don't know how he won that.
Blaze, you're very good, very good. You have 14 kills, I only have 4.
Yeah. I don't feel like I deserve those kills, man. Not gonna lie.
We must win. We will dance on your graves.
Why is the bomber going first, man?
Plant.
I'm planted. Bomb has been planted.
Tell me he's there. Wait.
He went away. He went away.
Came back. Good job.
Nice.
Nice. Well played. Give me the bomb. Give me bomb. Give me bomb. B. Come B. Flash first. They have no aim. Nice.
He's alone. He's alone on site. Maybe.
Go A. Go for A. Good job.
I killed him.
Good job. Let's go.
Blaze, do you need bomb?
Yeah. Give me.
Move it.
Did you drop it? Maxi, you have the bomb. I'm going from the other side.
I'm flashed.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in a flashbang. I'm throwing a flashbang. Decoy. I'm throwing fire.
Give me a sec.
Flashbang. Down.
Come A. Go A. Where's the bomb? Bomb's on B. What the fuck? Bro, bomb's on B.
I'm planting the bomb.
Maxi. Hello, Maxi. Did my... Hello, Maxi.
Yes.
I thought my this died. Did it die?
No, it didn't. Where are you going?
Killed one.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
We're going to A.
Go A.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Plant.
I'm planting. Bomb has been planted.
They have to be mid. Motherfucker actually ran.
Me? I would never.
Not you.
Bomb.
Not you. The Crowley guy.
Yo, pirate.
Is this dude AFK?
We lost the bomb.
We lost the bomb? Ah. Shit. Kick play. Danny.
I already did Breath of 1.
Throwing a flashbang.
Shut.
And now he's back. Just to die. Yo, how much storage you got now?
No idea. It's still cleaning up. Oh, nice.
Okay, how much do you freaking have?
Select this if you'd like to delete everything. This does not restrict your storage sense configuration. Should I delete everything? I mean, I don't know what's in the delete folder. Hmm. Let's go A. Go A, go A.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
In smoke, in smoke, in smoke, in smoke. Shit. Maxi, only one left. Maxi. Okay, good job. MVP.
Let's call my brothers.
B, 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 B. Wait, 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 wait. Go. Oh my god. Maxi. Maxi. You came in front of me.
I know.
It says I attacked a player. A teammate.
Well, it doesn't like. Well, I don't know. After wait, if I leave, I will get like timed out, right?
I think so.
Cause I gotta go AFK like for like 2 minutes.
Up to you, man.
He's on A with AVP, I think.
I'm gonna just go AFK. I could be right back.
Nice. Good job. Oh, my stream's gone, I think. Is it gone? Aaron got Maxi and he has a bomb. Gotta kill everyone.
I'm throwing a flashbang. Flashbang. Molotov. Throwing smoke. Activating the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Throwing a flashbang. Terrorists win. We'll stop your little scout.
Ooh.
Let's go, let's go. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Shit, someone came from behind. Fuck.
I'm throwing a grenade. Throwing
Oh my god, somebody. Oh, okay, there was someone over there.
smoke.
Shit. Nice shot.
I'm planting the bomb.
Oh, damn. In front of you, in front of you. Go fast. Andy. How many rounds do they need? How many more rounds do they need? Hmm.
It is time now, my brother. Throwing a flashbang. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Oh, damn. Good job. One more on box. Right side on box.
Terrorists win. You are stupid to think you will win.
I'll just go for the gun that's working for me, man. Because other guns are just not working right now.
Throw in the flashbang. Flashbang. I'm throwing the flashbang. Throw in the flashbang. Flashbang.
Flashbang.
Throw in the flashbang. Throw it. Grenade.
Oh my god, close, close, close. Shit, my bad, man. GG's. Exit to main menu. Quitting. Quitting. Bro, my stuff is not working properly. There's lag everywhere. Half the stuff I see is not working. Hmm.
I was muted the whole freaking time. Is it still loading?
What is?
The like deletion.
I think so.
Okay, wait, I got a like adapter. Let me plug in the SSD real quick to test. You wanna watch?
Yeah, give me a sec, man.
Okay. 50 gigs on download. Down.
System.
Storage and then like,
Storage.
and
Clean
then
up.
cleanup recommendation. And then like it shows up what, but like if it already doesn't show cache, then like maybe if you go on Chrome, Control H, and then
I,
like clear some
I'm
data or something.
I'm trying to refresh it. I think I removed the stuff from there, but it's still showing. That's the thing. Settings.
Maybe try restarting your PC then.
Installed apps. 143 gigs. Pictures. Other stem files.
Yes, look, here's the SSD.
Defender antivirus. Thumbnails, temporary files, and temporary internet files. Downloads. Remove all. I'll just remove everything, man. Let's see, is Chrome still lagging? Because earlier my Chrome was lagging. That's why I was feeling lag everywhere. Yeah, kind of lagging, but not lagging as much. Still kind of lagging, though. Not better. Not as much better as I would like it to be. Mhm.
Yo, what letter should the drive be? What letter? What letter?
Uh,
Like, what should the disk letter be
F.
for my SS? F. Yo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a T for Terror Blaze.
Okay. T for TerraBlaze. I see.
Yes.
Ah, okay, buddy. Let's go for Little Nightmares now. I'll hop off Discord, man.
Okay.
Alright. Thank you for the game. Appreciate it.
Thank you for
Download
playing with me.
download COD and let's play soon. Okay?
I'll look into it. Okay.
Fine. Down. I'm down. Okay. Bye bye now.
Bye bye.
Game capture. Little Nightmares. Thank you, Maxi. Okay, music has been turned down so I can focus on the game. Controller on. But controller is not connecting. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. The ladies' quarters. Load game. Imagine I deleted by mistake. Where am I even supposed to go? If there's a lock here, I suppose I'm supposed to go up. I think I went through this phase yesterday. Is she singing? Or she's singing? Can I climb this? I don't think so. I see her over there. I think sneaking works. Please don't come here. Why do I have a feeling I need to break that? Is she gonna come here? I'm not even doing anything. She's gone. She's actually gone somewhere else. I wonder where she went. Where did you go? Hello. Oh, no. Shit. Do I just run? I'll make a run for it. Hmm. I don't understand. What am I supposed to do? It seems like there's nothing around there. Do I have to climb somewhere? Let's come closer to the camera. Oh, there is a way. It looks like I'm supposed to do one of these things, but I don't understand what. Is it this? No. Hmm. What to do in this space? Oh. Shit. Hmm. I think I'm supposed to stay in the light. I think that's what I'm supposed to do right now. Alright, installing. Let's go. Bro, for the first time I'm fighting a boss. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Second time. Let's go. Third time, third time, third time. Where is she gonna go? This way? Okay. Come on. I'm ready, come on. Fuck you, bitch. I knew it. Got you again. Oh, is she dead? Please be please die. Please die soon. Oh, the mirror broke. Fuck, the mirror broke. What now? Man, the mirror broke. What do I do now? What is that? Do I go for that? Ooh. भाई नोबल कोई खा गया? हेलो? What the fuck? Do I get superpowers now? Do I get to see his face? Is that game over? What just happened? I don't know. Okay, something's happening. I think I'm in an elevator right now. Yeah. I got her powers, I think. Kill him. Ooh, everything dies. Everything just dies. Superhero entry! Oh my god. Everyone just dying. I think this is the end. Is this the end? Do I exit? A storm is coming. That code should come in useful. Damn. We did it! We did it! Let's go! Six's story is done. Let's go. Man, that was a good game. Oof. Sebastian Bastion Klesson. Andres Carlson. Can I not escape this? Like, do I have to watch all the credits? Nicholas Hansen. How many are left? AI programmers. Antonio Lindell, colors. Jonas Wingerin. Mm-hmm. Nissan. Far more, bro. And just add a touch to my loves, Iran, Findays, Lena and Mio. Bandai Namco Entertainment, Europe SAS. Producers, product. Quality control manager, localization manager, certification managers, engineering and project manager. How many people go into making of just one game? Rudy Pentaustier. Can I skip this, please? I think that sped up the process. I did something. Yeah, I can speed it up. Okay. I'm gonna speed this through. Come on, come on. The Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's me. Wait, that's me. Thank you for playing. Let's go. Press A to start kids story. Press B to go to main menu. Let's go to main menu. Let's see chapters. Oh, that's kids story, I think. First one, chapter 1. Chapter 2 is the guy with the hand. Chapter 3 is the chefs. 4 is the diners. And 5th is the lady. Plus extras. Masks and concept arts. I loved one mask. Ooh. I have such a good XP because of the adapter that is so slow. Bro, I finished the game. Maxi, I finished the game. The game's done. I'm done. When I'm back, then I'll go full on cables. I'm done with the game, bro. The game ended. What do I do now? Let's see. Doesn't even show me the how long it will take things. Percentage of completion. Let's see. On Little Nightmares. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It should not be so low. Should be above this. 31% complete, okay. Let's see what other achievements I can get. Look how the canary has flown its cage. You will do better next time, so close. Light up your light. Not all lights can be trusted, but these should be quite safe. And inside, so many keys, yet none to unlock your cage. We'll meet again. The final chapter is written. The recipe is complete. The feast will be divine. Little vandal, little beast, the maw will punish you punish you at the feast. Who knows what secrets they hold? Ashes to ashes. Does this mean I was supposed to break all of those? Fun and games ahead. Play nicely, no pulling hair. I'm losing you. I'll be out of reach for a while. Not alone. What's new with you? Are you proud of yourself? Is anybody out there? I wish I could visit you there. What's different about you? Why are you so brave? Wi-Fi crashed. Wi-Fi lagging crazy. So no me watching now, I guess. I think I'm gonna be ending for now as well because I've been lagging and I've finished the game. So there's nothing to do right now. So I think I'll be ending as well, man. I played for 4 hours and I completed it in 4 hours. Good game, man. I enjoyed it. It was a fun game. Let me know if you wanna watch the kids story as well. But I think I'll just I'll upload it to YouTube, I think. The code should come in useful. The lady's quarters, yeah. Kill the lady. Lady's dead. No more lady. Okay. Okay. Do we have people to raid with? Fuck it. It won't even install. It's okay. I'm gonna end for now, but thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Okay. I will see you tomorrow. If I get cable, then I do it. Sure. Take your time, buddy. I'll hop off now. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.